Hey guys, I'm so glad you stopped by today. I thought, keeping with the fall theme like we talked about before, we would do something with pumpkin. And Chris had sent me this recipe that it was so easy, and it's, I haven't made it yet, so I don't know if it looks easy at any rate, but it's with an ongoing trend of buying cake mixes and just using them as a dry mix, as a layer of this cake, instead of making the actual cake itself, which I find absolutely fascinating. They're quick, they're easy. The handful, we've made a couple here on the channel already, and those were really good, and they're like beginner friendly. You know, if you are new to baking, this is definitely one that will make you successful, at least this style. Now this recipe, I don't know yet, like I said, we haven't made it, but I think it would work. And that is a pumpkin crunch cake. It's a 9x13 single layer. It's got a cream cheese frosting on the top of it that I think is going to be out of this world. So that being said, if you're new, this is your first video, welcome. I'm glad you stopped by. If you are returning to our channel or one of our new subscribers, welcome back and thank you. Like, subscribe, share, always awesome. Helps keep us in the algorithm. Comments, always welcome. I respond to each and every one of them. If you take the time to comment, I'm definitely going to take the time to respond. The only thing I ask is you be nice. Think before you type. It's okay to disagree with me or anybody else in the comments. Just please think before you type and be polite. All right? I will give you all your measurements and cups, tablespoons, teaspoons, along with grams and milliliters. That way, no matter where you're at around the world, you can play along with us, right? So, that being said, why don't we head on down here to the counter and we're gonna go ahead and get started. Hold on for me 1 second. Okay guys, we're down here to the counter. First things I did was go ahead and turn the oven on. I got it on 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 degrees Celsius. And I have a 9x13 glass dish. There will be people who tell you that glass is kind of like for newbies, or it doesn't work as well as ceramic, and I don't know if that's true or not. I do know this though about glass. A, I can see what's going on all the time. B, everything I've ever made in this dish over the last, I don't know, 6 years has been really good. So I think it's dealer's choice. But anyhow, I went ahead and sprayed it with a non-stick spray and got it ready, got the oven going. So now what we do is start making the cake, right? So the first thing you need, is really the only thing you're gonna need, is a bowl and something to mix it with, which in this case is gonna be, we'll just use this spatula right here. Why not? And we're gonna add things to the bowl. Really, it's just this easy. We have got, first thing we're gonna throw in here, we're actually gonna do the pumpkin first. And it is a 1 15-ounce can, 455 grams of pureed pumpkin. It is not the pumpkin pie filling. It is the actual pumpkin, just pumpkin, 100% pumpkin, nothing more, nothing less. Now, I will do up my own pumpkin. Every couple years or so, I get a hankering to do up enough to make a couple pies. The reason why I try not to use fresh, like from our garden pumpkin, for a lot of things is canned pumpkin you buy in the store is consistent with its moisture level, so you always know what you're getting into, versus doing it with a fresh pumpkin from your garden that you've cut up, broken down, all that stuff. You may not get it quite as dense. But anyhow, we got our pumpkin in there. The next things we're going to add to this, we'll go ahead and put our sugar in, which is 1 cup, 200 grams. It's just plain old granulated sugar, kind of stuff you put in your coffee or your cereal, if that's what you do. And then we will need our spices. I've got 2 teaspoons, 6 grams of pumpkin spice in here. This is our pumpkin spice, one that we make here at the house. Now you can buy pumpkin spice just as easy, it's just as good, but if you'd like to know how to make that pumpkin spice, it is under a seasonings mix recipe. I'll put the link for it down below in the description. And then there's also 2 grams, half a teaspoon of kosher salt. Get that in there. And then I have got 1 can that I keep grabbing for I don't know what reason, of evaporated milk. It is 12 full ounces, 354 milliliters. We're gonna pour that in. And then the last but not least is 4 large eggs at 200 grams worth of eggs. And they are at room temperature. Everything is at room temperature. And we'll go ahead and get those put in. And then we're just simply going to mix all this together. All right, now we got it mixed together nice and smooth. Just like such, we'll go ahead and grab our pan. I'm telling you, this is going to go quick. Get our can out of the way there. Grab our 9 by 13, 22 by 33 pan here, and then we will get our mix in. This is such a crazy cake. Such a crazy cake. Alright, got that in. Now we will take our cake mix. I have one box cake mix. It's a yellow cake. And you can use any kind of cake mix you like. Something that goes with pumpkin. I mean, there's a spice cakes. There's you could use a white cake. You could use the yellow cake. I hear tell of a butter pecan cake mix. That would be really good. I've never seen it in the stores, but you could make this whatever you like. But we're just going to simply take this and we're going to sprinkle it on the top of our mix here. Okay, we got our cake mix on there. So now the next thing I've got is 1 cup, 110 grams worth of chopped up pecans. You could also use walnuts. You could probably use peanuts. You could probably use any nut that is your family favorite, or your favorite for that matter. But I'm partial to pecans myself. Yeah, but walnuts would be equally as good as this. Yeah, you're kind of thinking, I guess, pecan pie, or pecan with a pumpkin pie is what I'm thinking of at any rate. And pecan pie is also good. Yeah, both excellent holiday pies. All right, we got our pecans on there. Now I've got 1 cup, 228 grams worth of butter, and we have melted it. And then we're just going to pour this evenly as possible over the whole top of this. Okay, so we got that all done. Go ahead and get the sides cleaned up a little bit here, because why not? That way we don't have a bunch of burnt cake mix per se on the edges. Don't want that, right? Coming up the sides. So now we will go ahead and get the rolling chair out of the way. My kitchen is a constant battle. That's alright. It's getting better. But we're going to go ahead. We did not stir anything, did not mix anything after we pour our batter in there. We'll go ahead and get that in the oven, and we are going to bake it for 50 to 60 minutes. So we'll go ahead and set our timer for 50 minutes. And then, I'm going to take a look at it as I go anyhow, but I'll check it at 50 minutes. And oddly enough, the recipe that I have has no set, this is when it's done. How to tell, but I am going to guess clean toothpick, golden brown on top. That's my guess at any rate. But when I come back, I will have had it out of the oven, and we will talk about what to do with the cools as it cools, and we will take a look at what did I find out about it being done. So I will see you here in just 1 second. Okay guys, we got her out of the oven. So things I was looking for is, when I checked it at 50 minutes, we ended up going 55 minutes. It was still wet looking on top at 50 minutes. So I thought, no, that can't be about right. So now we've gone 55 minutes, and we're gonna just put a toothpick in it, and it came out clean. We'll check it in a couple different spots. Yep. And I mean, it has a little bounce to it, not a lot, but it's still baking. Nothing will come out of the oven completely done. Hold on for me 1 second. But nothing's going to come out of the oven completely done. You want to bring it out beforehand, that way it finishes the cooking process outside and doesn't become dry. So I'm going to call that done. I mean, the toothpick came out clean. It's not wet looking on the top anymore like it was at 50 minutes. So now our next step is just to let this cool for about an hour. We want to get it down to room temperature. And when I come back, we will go ahead and make our cream cheese topping. All right, I'll see you here in a second. Okay guys, so our cake is cooling over there. It's pretty much cool. And now we just gotta make some icing real quick. And it's only got 3 ingredients. It's a really easy icing. And again, just a bowl and a spoon. This time I'm using a blue silicone spoon, but you can use a wooden spoon or a spatula, I suppose. And in here I've got 8 ounces, 226 grams, 227 grams of cream cheese, and it is room temperature cream cheese. We need it softened so we can mix it in with everything else. And I'm going to start with mixing it with a half a cup 68 grams of powdered sugar, or confectioner sugar, depending on who you are and where you live. It's funny how things have different names in different parts of town, so to speak. Like, what's it called in your area? There you go. It's a question. You can leave me a comment down below about it if you want. But yeah, what do you call powdered sugar? Is it confectioner sugar, sweetened, confectioners? I don't know. What do you call it? But anyhow, we're going to go ahead and get these two mixed together real quick. All right, we got that mixed up. I mean, we're looking like mashed potatoes, right? That's what always seems to come down to. Light and fluffy looks like mashed potatoes. Although they didn't say light or fluffy, they just said mix it. So now we are going to take, as soon as I get a spatula real quick here, I have got a 8 ounce, 226 grams worth of whipped topping. Cool Whip, whatever your favorite topping is. You could make your own, but you want to make it a stabilized whipped topping if you do. But we're going to put that in here, and then we're just going to mix this all up so it's well combined. All right, we are combined. A little lumpy, not small lumps. Now I suppose if you wanted to, you could use your hand mixer for this and just mix it together. But I think as it sits, it will get rid of those few little lumps we have in there. All in all, though, it looks good. That's the important part, is it looks good. You'll have to excuse the screaming in the background. Chris is currently torturing somebody. I'm just kidding. Don't quote me on that. We're watching a sci-fi movie, but we're gonna go ahead and get this on our topping on top of our cake now. All right, we'll get this all smoothed out, and then we're just gonna throw her in the fridge for a couple hours, about 2 or 3 hours. Let everything kind of settle down, get to know each other. Now you will want to keep this in the fridge, just because of the whipped topping, but let's go ahead and get this into the fridge, and when I come back, it'll be a couple hours later for me and like a millisecond for you. All right, guys, so we got her done. Been in the fridge, relaxing, taking its time, didn't turn out too shabby. I suppose if neatness counts, we did kind of fail a little bit there on the edges. Yeah, it's all right. So I won't tell if you don't. But I was thinking, graham crackers, got them stuck in my head. So I crushed up 3 of them. It's 46 grams worth if you are buying crushed up, if you have crushed up graham crackers already. But it's just 3 whole graham crackers. And I crushed them up, and I'm just going to sprinkle them on top. I don't know why, but in my head, I have this as being good. So we will see all the same. And you may not even use 3. That was just a good guess. On crackers. All right, so we got that done. There's what we look like with crackers on it, of the graham sort. Now we just need to cut us a piece out, so that way we can give it a try, right? Okay, there we are. I am not a first piece person, just so you know. I cut a horrible first piece, but I will say I cut a horrible first piece like 99% of the time. But it did come out clean, all the same, and looking good. Now, all we have to do is give this a try, right? So let's see what kind of damage we did in the world of pumpkin crunch pie with a no stir. That's really good. Yeah. 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 Oh yeah. I like it like I'm looking down at you. You're looking up at me. That was really weird. But yeah, yeah, this is actually quite delicious. Sorry for the long pause. I was just really thinking because the cream cheese filling or icing is really, really good. I've never had it quite like that with the Cool Whip and the cream cheese together that I can recall. That's really good. And there is a nice crunch to it, that layer on the top. The cake, yeah, has a nice crunch layer to it. And then the filling underneath is very moist. I'm sorry, I'm sitting here eating the whole thing, but it's the bottom layer is kind of like pudding meets cake. It's really good because it's super moist. Then you got that layer of crunch. Then you got the cream cheese filling on top, which is really, really good. And then I think the graham crackers we threw on there just makes for a nice added flavor to it. It doesn't really give it much of a crunch, but it gives it a nice, almost complete pumpkin pie if you were to use your pumpkin pie, make your pumpkin pie on a graham cracker crust versus a standard crust. But that's good. You guys really should give that a try. Let me know if you do. You won't be disappointed, I guarantee it. And that would be a good, let's say you're having friends or family over to celebrate the holidays, or just having a nice weekend party, a fall party. There you go, right there. And it took no time at all, right? We dumped it together. The hardest part was waiting the time to let it cook and cool. But let me know if you do give this a try, or if you have something similar you do. Sure would like to hear about it, for sure. Next week, I don't know what we're doing yet. Not a clue. Not a clue. But I'm sure it'll be fun. And we'll probably get into some no good nonsense and some shenanigans as always. But until then, I love you. I love you very much. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Tell somebody else you love them, and that you love them very much. They may need to hear it. Either way it goes, it makes them smile, makes somebody feel good. You smile, you feel good telling them, right? I know I do every time I tell somebody I love them, I smile. And if you make them some of this no mix, sure. No mix pumpkin crunch cake, I guarantee that, or no stir pumpkin crunch cake, I guarantee they're going to stick around for some conversation, maybe a cup of coffee, or maybe a hot beverage with some alcohol in it. Who knows? Depends on who you are and where you're at, right? But I guarantee it's going to lead to an evening of fun and good conversation. So until next week, I love you, and I will see you then. All right? See you later. Bye-bye.